This loss makes me want to drink. Ref ball the game, sprinkling in a little bit of defensive incompetence and as well offensive incompetence brings you to a loss. A loss about as painful as 2021. We had it. We so fucking had it. We had everything. We had as much as possible, but stupid, dumb, idiotic plays, dumb, whatever the fuck, dumb bullshit that just didn't happen. Taunting, missed call. Block in the back, missed call. Late hits out of bounds, believe it or not, missed calls. I don't get it. I don't understand. I knew exactly that this team was going to break me at some point. But to do it like this, in this setting, in their 400th sellout, you haven't lost a single 50, every 50 on the sellout streak. You just haven't lost it. Playing, okay competition, but they still play decent opponents. Upending number 2, Colorado. You pull this shit. You just pull this shit again. Again. It's like the Michigan State game of years ago. Keep it close the entire time. One stupid fucking mistake. Game over. Throw an interception. They kick the field goal. Game over. This time, it's stupid penalties, stupid sack taking, stupid O-line play. It's clear that our O-line played 0 defensive linemen. It's clear that Colorado, Northern Iowa, UTEP, none of them had any sort of defensive linemen or edge rushers. Because we get a little bit of resistance. Just a little bit. And we fuck it. It's mind-boggling to think that we were ever 9-point favorites. What did people expect? If I'm going to be honest, what did people expect from this team? I wanted the pain to stop. I wanted Nebraska football to not be as painful as it has been for over the past decade. And yet, just like Illinois starting running back, it gets punched in the dick. It just does. Raiola almost has 300 fucking yards. That's awesome. But he takes 6 sacks. 2 of them very huge. And one of them, 7th, including an intentional grounding, that was way too far down the fucking field. 4 plays, negative 42 yards. Unacceptable. Straight up unacceptable for anyone that is trying to win this game. Anyone. Defense, jack and shit. Just give up a big play and then let him have it. If we had a fucking kicker, again, another instance in which our kicker is another reason why we can't fucking win. Like, seriously, we get a defensive turnover in which the previous one we managed to convert on. Wow. Wow. It's amazing. And then you just shank it. Tristan Alvano is somewhere somewhere. I don't fucking know where he is. Apparently injured. I don't know, probably could just be shoved in the shadow realm for how many times I've yelled at him. But John Hall, I understand that you're a freshman. I understand that you haven't been here as long as the others. But you're roughly in the same position as Homeboy is. And yet, you fucked it. You fucked it. Like, seriously. Seriously. Again, we have to rely on another field goal. And again, we wouldn't even be talking about this if we could actually do something with a 1st and goal on the Illini 5. At the 5! At the 5-yard line, and we do nothing. We rush for 2 yards. Incomplete pass. And then the interception. Oh boy, the interception in the back of the end zone. I have many gripes with the refs today, but they probably got that right. They probably did. But again, it's another jump ball in which my team gets fucked with. Why? Why do we keep letting this happen? Why? Why were we giving up this much rushing yards? Why were we giving up so many passing yards? We have a quarterback that now can throw for 35 attempts a game, have more passing attempts than rushing attempts, and now suddenly it's just I don't understand. Naylor had a good game. Banks had a good game as well. Fidoni had a pretty good game too. My Barney. And just nothing. Rayola fumbles it twice on one fucking drive. I don't know where that was, because if I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the hell they did with it. Once again, this team waits all the way until the very end to lose the game. I'd be less mad if they would have lost at the beginning of the game. You know, I'll be down a decent amount in the first half and then just coast the rest of the way. The fact is that we did nothing on our first drive, and that pretty much killed the entire momentum of the game. Sure, we had points on the next 2 drives, but the next 3 or 4, but there's a little something when you score on the first drive. At least something. But again, we wouldn't be talking about any of this if Hull just hit it down the uprights. And if we could block a damn thing and just anything. There are a million things in this game that could have tilted a little bit, and we would have gotten it easily. Stop any of the 2 4th-down conversions, easily win this game. Stop getting so many fucking penalties, won the game. We won the turnover battle. We did. Did it won. Fucking won. And yet we lose because this team just cannot do anything. We also can't cover on punts. That's a new thing that I didn't know we had. Don't put us in the rankings ever again, AP committee. Just don't. We are not a top 25 team. We just aren't. We're not ready for any of that shit. And I don't understand where people were saying that we would ever go 7-0 up against Ohio State. That never was going to fucking happen. This team is not that good. They would have gone through 1, 2, 3, 4 coin flips, in my opinion. 4 of them. 2 away games, 2 home games. It doesn't matter if it's against Purdue, against Rutgers, against Indiana. All those games are coin flips in my mind. Because Nebraska has not proven itself in past years, in these past couple games, that it can actually win tighter games. They just haven't. They just haven't proven anything in regards to that. I wish they did. I really damn wish they did. And I really damn wish that this game was on a fucking Saturday. But we can't have nice things in this world. We just can't. Again, we just can't. Obviously, wow, that's funny. I like how Illinois football posted, guy touchdown, successful 2-point conversion. Bet you didn't do that. You went for one. What was the point of having that many passing yards when your rushing yards were such dog water? I'm going to be honest here. Complete dog water. Just gonna add that to there. Just gonna say that was dog water. If Rule needs anything to say to his guys, I have a feeling he already has a million things that he's gonna talk to his guys for. He needs to tell them about pre-snap shit. He needs to tell them about how to not commit false starts, how to not commit stupid penalties. What he also needs to teach them real hard is that these refs are not going to call things if you do not flop. I'm being dead serious. If you get pushed, like, at least a little bit, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to flop in order to actually get that fucking call that you want. And the call that you damn deserve. You have to go hard on the ground, maybe even fake an injury or two, just to make sure. Just to make sure that they actually call it. Because these Big Ten refs, they aren't going to call it anymore. They aren't going to call it for Nebraska. Their policy for the past 12 years, ever since we've joined this conference, is to burn it against Nebraska on all of the penalties in conference games. It has been a thing for way too long. Just way too fucking long. It's just been policy for that long. So why aren't we trying to do anything about it? I mean, we could complain that the refs did it, but that's not going to do shit. In fact, that's just probably going to get Rule a fine and the program has to say they're sorry or whatever. But no, fuck that. Fuck that. No. You don't deserve that. The underlying fact is that they have to realize that this reffing crew is not going to give a single shit about them unless it is something egregious. And they have to make it egregious. I'm sorry. You have to make it egregious in order for them to call it in favor of Nebraska ever. There is very few instances in which I have seen Nebraska get a call their way. I can name right now one of them. Michigan State on that, pushed out of bounds, even though he wasn't, for the victory. That was the only time in which this team has had its luck go away. Even with all the cameras, the millions of cameras, they can't even get a fourth down call correctly. And then the punch? That possibly wasn't even on a player. It's entirely possible that he was just trying to get the ball out. But we wouldn't know because they didn't look into the cameras as much. That downs would have been the difference. Any of this shit would have been a difference. But no, we never learn. We need to learn that this league is not going to ever give us calls in favor of us, even against fucking Illinois. If Illinois has a little bit of star power, yep, they're just going to give it right to them. I don't see anyone on our schedule that is going to get, more flack by the refs. I'm being dead serious. And you may call this a goddamn conspiracy theory, but you shouldn't. You literally shouldn't. Because I have seen way too much of this shit on my television for so many years. I want the program to understand that they are never going to be the big shots of this league. They're never going to get the big shot treatment. Either until they go and go to the fucking natty, or if they just have to just fake it a little. Just fake it a little. You're just gonna have to fake it a little. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You're gonna have to fake it. You're gonna have to over-exaggerate everything. You're gonna have to do that. Because in this current state, you're not gonna get any calls for you. You're just not. Rail is not that big of a media factor for the Big Ten as of right now. You have to make it about yourself. You have to make sure that you are able to, become a big media thing. You may be a big media thing in Nebraska, but are you going to drive the revenue like Ohio State does? No, you're not. Not even to fucking Washington's level are you going to. You're just not. Washington recently came off of a national championship appearance. Even if they are not as good right now, they still have more media attention than you. Now, Nebraska does get a lot of... No. I'm talking about being good. Not the past. Not the future. The present. I'm just going to say it now. I'm just going to... Like I've said before. They're going to have to learn that they're never going to get a single call in their favor ever. And it just sounds so dumb, but it is so goddamn true all at the same time. There's a good chance the reason why we got that call in favor of us against Michigan State was because it would have been a little more media attention if Michigan State lost. Just a little bit. Because they were undefeated, And Connor Cook was in terms of ratings. So if they lose, what's this say? It doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. They're just Michigan State. Now, even then, we probably wouldn't surpass Michigan State in terms of media. We're definitely not going to surpass anything of Ohio State or UCLA or USC or Wisconsin or fuck even Iowa. To the refs and to this to the Big Ten, we are very irrelevant towards any sort of success that this may have for the whole product. They do make half of this shit just for the product. Just the product. There are barely... The only sport that they actually give a shit about... Well, the only two sports that they give a shit about reffing is basketball and football. We already know that football, we do not get the calls. Basketball it's a little more mixed as to who it is because it's never really fully content as to what it is. Besides Purdue, good. Other teams maybe good. I don't know. Now, what is my confidence level for the rest of the season? Well, I still believe we can get 6 wins. But like I've said before, and like I've said time and time and time again, do not celebrate. Do not, after every win, do not think you are going to go and get that 6-win mark. Because just like we've seen today, nada. It could just drop at any time, just like another Nebraska year. It shouldn't continue for another year. I know that. I know that we should be at least getting into a bowl game, even if it is just the fucking Foster Farms Bowl, if that even still exists. not want to exist because fuck that, whatever. But I want them to understand that they're never gonna get anything for them. They have to fucking earn it. They have to fucking earn every single little bit of good thing that goes their way. They really need to, because it's just gonna be filed under Nebraskaing and moved on. But I don't know. I just don't know. I want good for this team. I want this team to do something good. I want this team to be a contender for the Big Ten. But as of right now, they won't. Shit, I don't even think another year of this will do anything, considering that not only the defensive line is pretty much gone, the O-line, even if it is shaky, is gone. Your wide receiver core is young, so there's that. But we all know that half of them are going to be transferring. It's just a roulette wheel as to who is transferring at the end of the year. Now, it sounds dumb that I'm saying this 4 games in the season, but it's the new college landscape, and you just never fucking know. But new college landscape doesn't mean that, it'll get better media attention. Because again, Nebraska, in the eyes of the Big Ten and its roughing crew, is not as relevant as others are. Illinois says the Chicago crowd. Who the fuck do we have? We don't even have KC. We have Lincoln and Omaha, and maybe the rest of the state. But that's it. That's all the media coverage we have. Cause yeah, at least our fan base. I mean, sure, our fan base can go wide and all that, but that's all in small pockets. With Illinois, they got Chicago. And, sure, Northwestern is technically more closer than Chicago, but we gotta understand that school just simply is not, it doesn't market itself well. We're just gonna say that. Again, it all goes back to we have to earn the respect of both our conference mates and the refs all at the same time. It's the same thing that the Bears are currently undergoing as of right now. Past couple of years, it hasn't gone their way because it's not necessarily viable to the organization. And this all sounds fucking stupid. This all sounds dumb because refs are supposed to be neutral. They're supposed to be an independent party candidate in which they're supposed to moderate. Not candidate, but more of the moderator between the two teams. But profits, baby. So they're obviously manipulated. I mean, I should rephrase that. They are manipulated because it just makes sense for the league to do so. Now, it isn't necessarily like, here's a script, have fun. It's here's some things we want to emphasize about specific teams. That's just what pisses me off. I sound like a total fucking conspiracy theorist. And you would have a point as to me saying that all this shit is a conspiracy. You would have a point saying that all this shit is a conspiracy theory. But you cannot argue against the amount of shit that is against us. The amount of shit that I have seen in my lifetime that has just gone against us. Even in the Big 12, going up against Big Daddy Texas with the national championship on the line for them. 1 second. 1 second. We lost pretty much every single little bit of value to winning, to having a little bit of rigging against us, for us. But I just want it to be over. I want this bullshit to stop. I want this team to realize that they're going to have to earn everything one little bit at a time. And I understand that this team has emphasized that they are learning the fact that they have to do that. Also, the exclamation point is terrible. That's my bad. Enemy. That's pretty much what I think. Enemy. But I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. How does this shit... I understand why this shit keeps happening, but how does it keep happening to the painful point of realization that your team is worth nothing to this league? Your team is worth nothing to the NCAA. Your team can be dropped at any point because you're not relevant to 49 other states. USC is very relevant to a lot of states. So therefore, they're going to be able to get a lot more calls for them. Ohio State is way more of a influence on other teams, other places. So they're going to get the calls on them. Even Illinois has at least multiple states that it can pull for, support and be able like that. Indiana, they may only have one state, but they also have more people and more town, more cities, more bigger places. Iowa has a reputation of being good with the defense over these past 15 years. We do not have a reputation of being good. We just don't. We don't have a reputation in order to survive as of right now. I'd love for us to have that reputation. In fact, it's something that we had all throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and even into the early 2000s. But we've lost all of that. And because of that, because of the fact that we are not relevant at all, even fucking Washington. Washington has at least 3 or 4 states under its belt. We don't even get South Dakota. South Dakota does not give 2 shits because they have South Dakota State. I honestly think that South Dakota State has a little more relevance in the eyes of most people because they're an FCS powerhouse. Not the little brother anymore, the powerhouse. But to think that now we have reached this, where again, the reffing crew is against us between 2 middle-of-the-road former Big West opponents. In terms of the hierarchy, as of right now, we're at dead last. They do not give a shit what happens during the regular season. During the non-conference, my bad. They do not care. But as soon as it gets to Big Ten play, they do a little something for it. And I still sound like a crazy fucking maniac for saying all this shit. But this is what 8 years does to a person. I was in elementary school when this team was the last went to a bowl game. Last was at 500. I remember the specific shock of when Bo Pelini was fired in the breakfast room, lunchroom, but in that room, hearing upon that Bo Pelini was thrown out. We didn't understand why. He was doing great, in our opinion. But apparently, according to the board, it wasn't. The start of our downfall. I remember during my middle school years how mid we just were. Not good enough. Just there. And how disappointing it was that Riley was. And, then moving on to the Scott. The Scott. And then through the darkness of online, COVID, all of that, I watched my team hit its low. 2021, low. 2022, a little higher, but still pretty low. 2023, promise, failure, promise a little more again, failure. Currently, as of right now, we have a lot of promise. And this loss honestly doesn't change the trajectory too much for how Nebraska is going to go. But, it still doesn't change the fact that we were so low on the goddamn totem pole that I'm pretty sure Northwestern has us beat. Just because they're somewhere near Chicago. Despite the fact that Illinois controls it, the fact that they're really close. They're really close to the headquarters. Makes them a little more relevant. Plus, academics and stuff, they pretty much kill at that. But I don't know. I just don't know what to think. I just think that all of this shit is stupid, and we need to play better. We need to dominate our opponents to the fucking ground. We need to go out there and slap the shit out of every single team on our way to whatever the hell. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how much practice it fucking takes. The only way to gain respect to this huge, big-ass Big Ten is just to win all the fucking games by 1,000,000 points, to kill every single little bit of hope on every single team, because it just will make everything easier. It just will. It just will make everything easier for us. Like, it seriously just will make everything easier for us. Do not even think for a second that you can lay off the fucking gas against an opponent. Never. Never again. This team can never lay off the fucking gas ever again. They need to go as hard, as fast as possible against every single team that they play, even if it is a bottom tier FCS opponent. Kill them. And kill them again. Raise them from the dead and kill them again. You see that? Like, one win Big Ten team? Kill them. Just eviscerate them from existence. We have Purdue next. They're 1-1. They're going to go up against Oregon State before this next match. We won't be ranked, and this game will be on the cock. We need to kill them. If they don't perform well tomorrow, we need to kill them. We need to kill them as hard as possible. We need to win by 60, 70. I don't care how much it takes. We need to gain as much respect as possible from this league to understand that we are here and we can actually figure out what we're doing. We just need to bring ourselves into the fucking light. Bring ourselves from the goddamn basement of this hierarchy. Just be relevant. None of this stalling out bullshit like you did against Colorado. None of that. Just go. Go as hard as you fucking can against every single opponent. You cannot do any pansy ass shit like you did today. You just can't. You just can't do it against these opponents. You just can't. You just can't. I just don't. Just don't even think. Don't even think about what you're doing or any sort of morals for this league. This league does not respect you, so you shouldn't respect their morals. Go out there and kick some ass next week. Because if you don't, this league will take it down. And I'm saying league because the Big Ten will one day become its a league of its own. Because of NCAA toothless. You get the fucking idea. Just maybe a little bit think. A little bit. Exactly what they're going to fucking do. to you. Just think a little bit. Anyway, I should stop my rant now. Sorry this video is a little long. It's actually kind of like my older content, but... Older content, that was like a little over a year ago, but... I wanted to say all this because... It's been hitting me over this past week that if we lose to Illinois, any sort of momentum that we've gained, dead. So once I saw the third down sack, intentional grounding, I knew it was over. It was so over, and that this team was never going to go back to the highs that it was before. Now we're all depressed, and we have to wait like 8 days to play Purdue on the Cock at 11 a.m., which is cool and better for us because I don't have to wait all day to watch this team do whatever the hell. But next week, we have Purdue. They lost by a million to Notre Dame, and honestly, if we can actually get our shit together, we can beat that easily. Now, will we? No, this is Nebraska. We ain't beating that. No. But I really want to. Like I said, gotta kick some ass in order to actually gain respect. All intensive purposes, we had an okay game. But it was the mistakes, the penalties, the whatever the fuck that we were doing, that was the problem. But, as always, let me know if you think the same. And see you Sunday.